My name is Luella. Standing in the middle of the living room of what used to be my home, I'm surrounded by chaos. My ex-mother-in-law, Mrs. Thompson, is screaming at me, accusing me of theft. My ex-husband, Ethan, looks broken, begging me to fix things. But I'm calm now, because I know the truth. Let me take you back to the day my world fell apart. I was married to Ethan, a man who seemed to love me at first. Ethan came from a wealthy family. His father, Mr. Thompson, was a shrewd businessman, and his mother, Mrs. Thompson, was a controlling and overbearing woman. She always thought I wasn't good enough for her son, and she never missed an opportunity to make me feel small. One fateful day, when I got home from work, I found a suitcase at my feet. Ethan was standing by the door, his eyes cold and his voice rehearsed. "It's over," he said. "I'm tired, and you don't belong here anymore." I was in shock. I tried to ask him why, to remind him of the years we'd built together, but he wouldn't even look at me. Behind him, in the hallway, Mrs. Thompson stood with her arms crossed, a satisfied look on her face. I'd always known she disliked me, but I never thought she'd be so heartless to watch me being humiliated like this. I was told to take only what was mine. I was so stunned that I just stood there, frozen. That's when Mrs. Thompson stormed forward and hurled a torn handbag at my chest. It fell open on the floor, and all that spilled out was dust. She shouted, "Take your trash." The neighbors' doors were closed, and the world seemed to go silent. Ethan turned away as if I was already a ghost. With shaking hands, I picked up the broken bag and walked out. In that moment, I felt like I'd lost my dignity, my love, and my home all at once. I wandered the streets for hours, in a numb state. I kept replaying every insult, every cold glance in my mind. I couldn't believe how quickly my life had collapsed. The bag in my hand felt heavier than it looked, and the torn lining brushed against my fingers. Exhaustion finally drove me to a cheap motel on the edge of town. Under the harsh yellow light, I finally opened the bag. Instead of trash, I found neatly folded documents and a small leather folder. My heart started racing as I pulled them out. There were bank statements with numbers so large that I thought I was misreading them. There was a savings account in my name with $500,000. My breath caught in my throat. Beneath the bank statements was a property deed. I read it over and over again, my hands trembling. It was for our house, and my name was printed clearly on it. I was more confused than shocked. Why would she throw this at me? Was it a mistake or something more sinister? That night, I couldn't sleep. I sat on the bed until morning, realizing that the woman who despised me had unknowingly given me power, or perhaps revealed a secret that was meant to be hidden. The next day, I went to the bank, half expecting someone to laugh at me and tell me it was all a misunderstanding. But the teller smiled politely and confirmed everything. The account was real, and it was fully accessible to me. I almost fainted. From there, I went to a lawyer, clutching the deed like a lifeline. The lawyer examined it carefully, his eyebrows lifting in surprise. It was legitimate. The house had been transferred to me months ago, and Ethan's signature was on it. I felt sick to my stomach. He either planned this or was forced into it. When I returned to the motel, my phone kept buzzing with missed calls from Ethan. His messages went from anger to panic. He demanded that I return the documents, claiming it was all a mistake. But his fear in his voice told me otherwise. For the first time since being thrown out, I felt a new sense of clarity. I decided I wouldn't run away anymore. I was going to find out what had been done to me and why. While they were out, I went back to the house. Walking through the familiar rooms felt like I was trespassing in my own memories. In the study, guided by a growing instinct, I searched the drawers and cabinets. I found letters hidden behind old files. All of them were from Mrs. Thompson to Ethan. The letters talked about control, about making sure the house stayed in the family, and about using me as a shield for their assets. I realized that the savings account was a protective move. Ethan had feared his mother's manipulations and had put everything in my name because he trusted me more than her. The irony was overwhelming. Mrs. Thompson had spent years belittling me, never knowing that I legally owned what she wanted the most. When they returned and found me there, chaos erupted. Mrs. Thompson started screaming, accusing me of theft. Ethan looked broken, begging me to fix things. But I told them I knew everything. Silence fell, heavy and irreversible. The divorce proceedings were tough but short. Legally, there was little they could do. The house was mine, and the money was mine. Mrs. Thompson tried to intimidate me, then she shed tears, and finally, she made threats. None of it worked. Ethan apologized again and again, saying he loved me but was too weak to stand up to his mother. I just listened without responding. Love without courage had already cost me too much. Some friends who I thought I'd lost came back when they learned the truth, but I needed space. I needed to rediscover who I was without fear or obedience. I renovated the house room by room, reclaiming it as my own. Every brush stroke felt like a step towards healing. The broken bag sat in the corner of my bedroom, a constant reminder of how cruelty can backfire. As months passed, I started to rebuild my life with purpose. I invested the money wisely and started a small business that I'd always dreamed of but was discouraged from pursuing. It grew faster than I'd imagined. Confidence replaced doubt. One afternoon, I ran into Mrs. Thompson at a grocery store. She seemed smaller somehow, her sharpness dulled by defeat. She avoided my eyes. I realized then that her power had always depended on my silence. Without it, she was just a bitter woman with regrets. This realization freed me more than the money ever could. Ethan tried one last time to reconcile. He said the house felt empty without me and that his mother had ruined everything. I gently told him that he had allowed it to happen. Forgiveness came easier than I expected, but reconciliation was out of the question. I had outgrown the version of myself who used to beg to be chosen. Watching him walk away, I felt no anger, only a sense of closure. The past no longer had a hold on me. A year after being thrown out, I hosted a small gathering in my home. Laughter filled the rooms that once echoed with tension. As I watched the sunlight filter through the windows, I thought about the broken bag, the insult that was meant to destroy me. Instead, it revealed the truth and gave me a new future. Sometimes, life's cruelest moments are actually disguised turning points. I didn't just survive being discarded, I rebuilt myself stronger, wiser, and finally free.